Thank you.
I'll give it to Jeffrey. Shut up.
So one thing you folks may or may not know is in order to receive a decision, you have to have 5 positive votes. We are 5 of 9 with only 8 members. So you need 5 people to show up
That's
for
Michael.
a quorum and 5 yeses. If you get 1 no, your application will
We have a quorum
not.
Not
at
yet.
5.
So when Linda opens the meeting, she will formally tell you all those rules and what your opportunities are.
How many do we need for quorum?
5.
That we have 5.
Yay!
I'm
prepared.
You're so prepared.
Good for
That's
you.
awesome.
They all should do that.
I know, right?
No, we actually don't have a quorum because we got you, me, and Jeffrey and Michael
And Katrina,
and Katrina.
that's 5.
Oh, I didn't count myself.
Jeffrey, you don't want to show us your lovely face?
Come on, Jeffrey.
All right. Hi, I'm here. I'm in the car. We're driving home from Montpelier, so it's gonna be dark. I guess I could do this. Hang on. There we go. Now you can see me.
Yep. So you're on your way to Montpelier? You're being chauffeured or what?
No. I'm coming back from Montpelier, but yes, I'm being chauffeured.
Oh.
Hi, Jeffrey, chauffeur.
So you're gonna Jeffrey, you're gonna participate by car?
Yes, Linda, I'm participating by car, and if you'll have me, I will walk into the meeting late. But
That's good.
okay.
Yep, that's good.
All right.
Okay.
Yes.
I will call this meeting to order, 7 o'clock or
7:02.
close, December 1st. We do have a quorum.
We have 6.
Yep, we have 6 people. So
Yay.
okay, visitors and communication. I presume that you 3 are here to speak about the application tonight. Okay, great. Then we'll skip over that. I just want you to know that this is a quasi judicial board. And those who are here to participate tonight or ask any questions will need to be sure you've signed in. You have, okay. And I will be asking you to stand and be sworn in at the appropriate time, and you will need to state your names for the record. And as this is a quasi judicial board, all applications will need a minimum of 5 positive affirmative votes in order for the application to be approved. And if we have less than a full board, which we do tonight, you do have the right to postpone your application and have it rescheduled for more members to be present. You're ready to proceed. Okay, thank you. The end of the meeting, the board will enter into deliberative session, at which time they will make a decision. And you will be advised in writing within a week by Janet, or you can call her. She loves to receive phone calls. You can call her.
She's not busy at all.
You can call her in the morning and let you know what the decision is. Okay, before we get to your application, we just need to take care of a couple administrative matters. One of them is approval of the minutes of the regular meeting on August 4th. Is there a motion to accept those
So
minutes?
moved.
I'll second it. Yep.
You're
Yep.
making the motion. Okay. Did you get that, Janet?
Sarah motions, Jessica seconds.
Yes.
Thank you.
All those in favor, raise your hand. Okay, then the minutes are approved, motion carries. The second order of business is the notice of decision of the August 4th meeting. Is there a motion in respect to that?
I'll make the motion. I have some discussion or some questions.
Oh, then go ahead and
So I'm just curious
Discussion comes
after the motion.
So moved.
Jeffrey just moved.
Jeffrey, where are you? You're in
He's
the dark.
In the dark.
We
It might
lose him?
work.
Yeah, we have to make the motion first.
It might work
Yes,
better
right.
for him to have his
Yes,
video off.
motion
I-
first.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's fine. No. And then we wait for a second if there's discussion, Jana?
You have to second it then.
Oh, okay.
Jeffrey, are you making the motion?
He did.
No,
make-
you are. Sarah
Yes,
made the
Get
motion,
the
Jeff.
motion.
Yeah, and we need a second right now.
I'll second.
Okay, thank you, Michael. Now discussion?
So this may just be a typo error, but in number 4, is it supposed to say 6 North Main Street?
So are we talking about?
Nope, we're talking about the the notice of decision.
Which project?
The
This
opera.
is for the Opera House. Number 4. Says the property is located at 6 North Street.
Yeah, it's a typo.
Okay, and it's also in number 9,
Okay.
and that's all the ones I found for this one.
I appreciate that. It's too late for fixing typographical errors because it's already recorded, but I'll make a note.
And I just wondered too, if you needed to put the date at the top of the hearing, top of the notice.
Yeah.
Okay, all righty, thank you. Okay, we have a motion and a second. We've had discussion. Is all those in favor of approving, raise your hand, please.
Aye.
Oh, Jeffrey's bouncing around. Okay, then we have an approval of the notice of decision for the August 4th meeting. Okay, now we'll get to the business.
Isn't there a second notice of decision, or was it both?
Shorty did it.
I didn't know they were a package.
We have before us an application from James and Gail McDonald, 11 Hilltop Avenue. Seeks approval for a dimensional variance from the side and rear property lines for a deck and spa room. R8 zoning district. The application was received in City Hall on November 10th, 2022. Note that the new structures are previously built. Their contractor guided them that they did not need permits. Our code enforcement officer happened upon the construction earlier this fall. The R-8 minimum setback requirement for the rear property lines is 16 feet, and the side setback requirement is 12 feet. The McDonald's are applying for a dimensional variance for the side and rear setbacks because a dimensional waiver does not give them enough of a change to keep their structure in place. Okay, now you're here to speak on behalf of the application. Who's going to speak? Are you all three going to speak?
Gail may jump in at some point.
I doubt I will.
Okay, then I do need you to stand, raise your right hand. You swear the testimony you're about to present is the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
And would you please state your name for the record?
James McDonald.
Thank you. And if you don't mind, would you just sit at this table here?
Try not to knock it over.
Go ahead. You can, we do have your application and all the board members have read it. But if there's anything you want to add, modify.
Yeah, I'd just like to tell the complete picture, if I may. Janet said I could have. 10
Okay, and
minutes
I
of
would ask that people speak up because sometimes it's difficult to hear.
Okay,
Okay, thank you.
can do. If you don't mind, I'll share my screen. I've put together a presentation and it will cover everything that was in the application.
Okay,
Just, let's see here. Share the screen. Use Zoom in quite some time. Can everyone see the screen?
yes, thank you.
I need to minimize this. I can't. There we go. Okay, so I'm James McDonald. Gail is with me. We live in Hilltop Avenue, and we're here to respectfully request a dimensional variance for our property. And the reason is we have unintentionally built a structure without a building permit. And I would like to explain why we had it built and provide insight how it came to be without permitting. In order to do so, I need to provide some personal history. We have lived in our home for 18 years and we are both disabled. She has diabetic neuropathy in her legs and feet and also have degenerative arthritis. And these disabilities limit our mobility to such an extent that our employers granted us a work from home accommodations, permanent work from home, which our mobility creates a medical necessity and we require daily therapy. Our doctors had recommended aqua therapy, which we did through Rehab Gym, and we found it quite beneficial. But as for daily use, local pool access is unavailable. And also insurance only covers a limited number of sessions. So as a solution, we bought a heated swim spa and hired a contractor to build a structure that allows year-round use. To explain the lack of a building permit, we hired contractor Eric Smith of Precision Builders. He's out of New Hampshire. He's new to the area. Lots of experience. He's a good builder. However, he built the deck on the back of the house where we had an existing screened-in porch that was there 12 years. And we were told we did not need a permit for the structure. Regardless of that, I now know the responsibility falls to us and not the contractor, given that contractors are not licensed in the state of Vermont. Had we known, we
I'm
would have.
sorry, you
Yes.
said the contractor wasn't licensed in Vermont?
Contractors are not required to be licensed.
Oh,
in
I see.
Vermont,
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
which we did not know when we started the
Right.
process. We assumed he was licensed, unfortunately.
Thank you.
Had we known, we would have filed for a dimensional variance prior to starting the build. We want to do things right. We'd like to be able to possibly sell our home someday and not have any issues, or not upset anyone who may buy a house nearby. So how we came to the realization we needed permits. The construction was well underway. We had to move the Green Mountain Power Service from the back of the house to the side. Robbie Strachan came to inspect that and noticed the new structure and advised our contractor at the time that we needed a building permit. We were in Chicago at the time and we were never made aware of that. 2 weeks later, Mr. Strachan returned to our home and asked the contractor why he hadn't filed any permits. And at this point, the structure was mostly complete. I overheard this conversation and immediately went down to the offices here and met with Janet. And Janet was obviously very helpful in helping us decide our options to move forward, which is how we arrived here applying for a variance. We need the variance because the reason we built it as we did, the size of our lot and placement of existing structures left us limited options for location of our new structure. The backside of our home was the only feasible option. The new structure is roughly 6.5 feet from the property line behind our home, well within the overdoing the limitations set by the city. There is a hillside behind our home that separates our property from our neighbor's driveway. These are the Straightons, and our property line is roughly midway on the hillside between us. Additionally, the new structure is closer to the property line between us and the Tobergs on the other side of our home. And this makes the structure closer than our existing home's footprint to their property line. And to talk about the structure, at its core, it's just a deck on the back of our house. And a portion of this deck was left as a sun deck, which we'll use in the warmer months. It's a level, safe surface for exercise, such as yoga, things like that. We get our vitamin C. And the swim spa sits on a thick concrete slab, all poured to spec, and the deck is built around the spa to enclose it. Atop of the deck sits insulated walls, and they of course surround the area of the swim spa, and we call this the spa room, which also has an insulated roof, several windows, and a locking storm door for safety and security purposes. We would hate that any neighbor of any kind would come back there and fall into our pool, so we've secured it. There's pressure treated below the deck, creating a deck wall. It's mounted to the deck and it holds rigid insulation to help maintain the energy efficiency of the spa. And now I'll speak more to the property lines through images. In this picture, you can see I'm standing on the sun deck and I'm looking out towards Hilltop Avenue across our driveway. And we had briefly considered this as an area to build the structure and to keep within the boundaries. But that we're advised that the snowfall and the ice fall off of these two roofs would leave us no options for having a structure there. Additionally, we would have lost the driveway. We like to park all the way up near the deck in the winter time to allow for a plow to get in behind us easily. With our limitations, that greatly helps make it easier for me to handle the snow. Additionally, this is the only area we could have propane service, so we couldn't do it there. This shows the property line. To the right, you will see the concrete pad that the swim spa sits on, and the deck is also built upon that. And this yellow line that popped up is where the property line is along these trees. You can see this arrow represents the short distance between the property line. There is a fresh orange ribbon tied around that tree because our neighbors Straightons have a dispute about their driveway in the back, and within the past few weeks, surveys were done. So these are fresh property line markers. And this is just a view further back showing the hillside, the Straightons driveway along the edge of our deck. Again, our property line's right along where those trees are growing. Facing the other way towards the garage, you'll see the Straightons driveway below. And along the deck, you'll see the garage in the background. And the garage is actually closer to the edge of the hill than our home by barely half a foot. This is why we didn't think to question it, because we already had structures that were near the property lines. And if we zoom in on that garage area, this orange structure to the left is the garage. And right back here, if you look carefully, you can see the property marker with the fresh orange ribbon around it, showing how close the garage is to both the side and the back of the property line. This is the other side of the house near the Tobergs, and it shows the electrical supply that had to be moved, relocated. And I want to point out that we did take care in building the new structure to match the character of the original house, and it will be painted next season, provided you grant us a variance. Hey, Jeffrey. And if you back away from that, this demonstrates the distance of the spa room from our property line. Our fence is just on our side of the property line from the Tobergs. And in closing, the real question, I believe at this point, since the structure is there, hopefully you'll agree, is how does the structure affect our neighbors' lawful use of their property? And we have signed statements using language set forth in the variance request that the new structure does not substantially or permanently impair the lawful use and development of their property. And I've included images of the Straightons and the Toberg signatures on this. And with that, I turn it back to you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for allowing us to do that.
Did either one of you wish to speak at this point? No? Okay, thank you. All right, then I'll entertain questions from the board at this point. Jeffrey, you just arrived. You want a minute or so?
Yeah,
Okay,
thanks.
okay. Christina, right?
Katrina.
Katrina, I always get your name wrong. Sorry.
That's quite all right. I apologize that I couldn't be in person, but I'm still unclear whether I'm effective with COVID again already. So it's nice to see you all and the Zoom to work.
Do you have any questions that you want to ask?
No, I do not at this time.
Okay, thank you so much. Michael,
No, I don't have any questions. Thanks.
you're all set? Jessica?
No, I read the packet that Janet delivered. Thank you, Janet. And no, I think the presentation was helpful and you answered some of my questions in your presentation.
Thank you.
Sarah?
Yeah, I would echo what Jessica just said. It was a very detailed application and I appreciate that. And I don't have any questions.
I'm good.
You're good?
Yep.
I have no questions either. If there's nothing further, then the board, as I stated earlier, will go into deliberative session at the end of this meeting, make a decision, and then you will be notified. As I stated, you can either call or Janet will respond within a week with a letter.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much for being here.
Yes, thank you for allowing us to be here.
Good luck to you both. Thank you.
Call me tomorrow. Thanks. Okay.
Okay. We could see was you jouncing around in your car.
Well, so the road, the Barry Montpelier Road is not as smooth as you think it is when you're trying to hold a phone and you're like,
It's never been as smooth. That's a terrible.
I'm like, what is going on? And then I hear you say, I'm like, I should just shut my video off again.
I didn't shut you off.
No, I said I should shut my video off again.
Oh, I see. Oh. I would have shut you off if I had to. Okay, before we get to that deliberative session, other businesses and election of officers. Entertain a motion to elect a chair. I guess that's the way we do it.
You need to vote on a chair and a vice chair.
Do we start with nominations or how does that work?
I thought I saw at one point somewhere, Janet, of secretary, and I couldn't figure out what that
Yes.
was.
I did. Procedure, just so I don't state it.
I don't remember where I saw it, but
It's in the agenda.
we're voting now. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, motion, nominations.
I'll nominate you to be chair.
Oh, thank you.
And I nominate Jeff for vice chair. And I second them, you know.
Oh, we'll do the vice chair separate, if that's okay.
Oh, yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
Let's keep them clean.
Keep nice and clean, yes. Okay, there, motion for me to be re-elected as chair, made by Jeffrey, seconded by Jessica. All those in favor, say aye, raise your hands.
Aye.
Raise my hand.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Okay, any opposed? Okay, then I guess I'm a chair again. Okay, vice chair now.
Do you accept that nomination? We hope so.
We have a motion for vice chair.
Motion for Jeff.
Okay, do we have a second on that?
I think
I'll
strict,
second.
I was just gonna say, I think strictly we do the nominations and then we have the motion to vote on it, right? I mean, but there's only one of them, probably.
No, Michael, you have to nominate somebody and then you.
Yes, I accept the nomination. Then you make the motion.
Yep. And it was seconded. Michael.
Was it
Michael,
seconded?
I
I'm
think-
gonna second it. Yeah. Who moved though? Jeffrey, did you?
Jessica made the motion.
Okay,
Yeah.
Jessica.
Yeah, Jessica made the motion.
Great. I second that.
Okay,
Jessica
okay.
nominated Jeffrey and Michael second.
Okay, okay, I was
Okay,
confused
thank
by what he was saying. Okay, all those in
Can you-
favor, raise your hand, please. Those opposed?
I'm abstaining.
I didn't vote for myself either.
Well, then you should mark that you abstained.
Oh, I abstained from voting for myself. I didn't know. It doesn't matter.
Okay, well, I'm just trying to be. Okay, I'll vote for myself, I
If you,
guess.
if you're
Politically
running for
correct,
public
right?
office, you can vote
Okay,
for
then.
yourself.
The motion carries and it's unanimous. Okay. Roundtable.
Do we need a secretary?
Yes,
Oh, I mean, what
It's
is
part of
that?
charter,
Is
right?
that you?
What are the duties of secretary?
Take the notes. But if one of you is the secretary, you have to be able to pay attention to the meeting as well as keep the notes.
so
Go ahead.
Can we
Jeffrey.
nominate you as the
Could
secretary?
have you
Can we nominate?
continue in
you,
the
Jeff?
position or whoever comes in to fill the position that Heather was in, or?
Yes.
that was gonna be my question.
Okay.
Can we pause on the secretary until you have an assistant? Okay, then I nominate. Okay, so can we nominate you?
And I would second that.
Well, we have to let her accept first.
Oh, well, you know she will.
Well, but we still have to be formal about this.
Each one-
Formality.
Janet,
Yes.
okay, now,
Staff to you, I'm happy to continue in that role.
thank you.
Thank you.
I would like to make a motion to accept, to appoint Janet as our secretary.
I will second that.
Okay, all those in favor? Opposed? Okay, motion carries and Janet will be our secretary.
Hurrah.
Now, we can revote that once you get an assistant, correct?
It will automatically defer to the permanent administrator once that person never comes up.
Okay.
Ha.
Is there even an inkling of that happening yet? Okay.
She's not.
There's
going.
just such a large pool of applicants. You can't narrow them down.
Yeah, if only that were the case.
I know.
No,
Well, I'm just, nobody wants to go to work anymore.
no.
No, everybody wants to work from home.
It's just, yeah.
Anyway,
I don't get
let's
it.
keep moving.
Yep.
Moving on.
Roundtable. Janet and I had some discussion about the roundtable. Primarily, I understand it should be similar to the way the council operates the roundtable. It really isn't for business or to talk about business. It's more for pat on the back for somebody or acknowledgement to, like Jeffrey with his Reynolds house. And, you know, anybody that, you know, we want to bring up and recognize. So our thinking was we could either eliminate the roundtable or just see if anybody has anything and keep it on the agenda and just go through.
I say roundtable and just add as needed
Okay.
behind it. And then if somebody wants to say something, they can. And if we don't have anything to say, we don't.
I mean, I think it would be just simple. If you don't have anything to say, just say I'm passed.
Yeah,
That's what
exactly.
we do at
Just like council pass.
Yeah,
least
and then
have-
if everybody passes, everybody passes.
Then we have the opportunity at least. if
Yep.
I like to
people want
talk, so.
I mean, because
I never.
if I were going to say something about roundtable tonight, I would say that the park looks great this year. Like I think that
Oh,
and the
definitely.
downtown looks amazing. Like I love the light poles this year. I think it's way better than last year. I'm sorry, but last year looked like we were a town of 20 people who just gathered our old Christmas lights and put them up. So I'm very impressed with this year's
It
downtown.
is very nice.
I would
Yeah.
agree with that as well.
Okay.
Who's next?
Janet is, you know, and I'm
Oh,
not.
Katrina wants to say
Oh,
something.
Katrina, go ahead.
Well, while I didn't get to the craft show, kudos to the Berry Partnership for stepping up when the craft show got killed. I think that's fantastic. Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, we heard
Yep,
you.
we're
You're good.
listening.
Okay, I was looking for response.
We thought you were going.
We
to
agree.
continue on. Okay, all set?
Yep.
That's why I don't like Zoom.
I know. I would echo that. The Mary Berry festivities this past weekend were excellent and well attended. The parade Saturday night was really short, but it was festive and the lighting was great. I would also mention too that the city councilors are going to be doing a corn drop on Saturday between I think 8 and noon to collect money for
Toys.
Christmas for Kids. So a really great charity, and if you're driving through Barry, get your change out.
Well, as an ex-councilor member, I believe we've started calling it the dollar drop.
So. but
Well,
change
at the
is-
last
Change is
council,
still accepted, but bring your dollar bills, folks.
Yeah.
at the last council meeting, if you were attending, you didn't.
I did not.
They
You're
called
right.
it a coin drop.
Well-
So, but bills would be widely accepted.
Any monetary donation is welcome.
Yes.
Janet,
Michael.
I'm not sure if this is a time to discuss the possibility of, I sound like a broken record, but to change the time of the meeting. Aside from the city council, we're the only board and committee that meets at 7 o'clock at night. And I guess I would like each person's viewpoint on perhaps changing it to either 6:30, a little bit earlier than 7. I think it's especially hard when you have to drive in the dark at night too. But anyway, I guess I'd
Just
like
get a
to-
chauffeur.
Like you, your 2 dogs with you?
No.
I guess I'd like each person's opinion. Jessica, how do you feel about that? I know your job is some.
Yes, since I work until 6 every week practically, and it's like 5 days a week. For me, 7 o'clock, but if I take public transportation as I did tonight, I get here like right at 7 because it picks me up at my workplace around 6:41 and that's if it's on time. So at least 7 works for me, even a little bit later, but I'm one person, so you know, I don't want to inconvenience other people, so I would say, for me, 7, keep it the same. It's only once a month,
Yes,
and unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, we don't have applicants every month, so. This is the first time we've met in
Since August.
August.
time. Yes,
No, that's why I want everybody's opinion on this
I want to
because,
keep it the same.
yeah, Sarah, how about you?
I would say, I like the 7 o'clock time as well. I would be okay with 6:30. But it gives me a chance to get home around 5 and kind of decompress from work and make myself some dinner and then come to the board meeting. So I like 7 o'clock. I think our meetings are relatively short. So, so far I've only experienced 2, but,
You
yeah.
haven't been here when we have like 4 applicants.
No, well, we had 3 at the last meeting I attended, so.
Some of them have gone quite long into the evening, but good. I appreciate that. That's why I want to hear. from you.
Yeah, I'd be okay with 6:30,
I would-
but I prefer 7.
I would say 6:30. And actually, what I would say is in the winter months when it's dark out at 3 and 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I would much prefer an earlier meeting because I feel much more tired at this time of night when it's dark out already for 4 hours. But in the summer, I'm okay with later meeting because it stays light later. But I mean, I would split the difference and I would say I would prefer 6:30, to be honest.
Michael?
I was going to say that our preference has a bearing on when the meeting should be, but I think that since we're a quasi judicial board that, you know, requires members of the public to come, that really the main reason to set a time is for a time that is likely to work for applicants. And I think we probably have the right time already.
That's true, actually, frankly, that a lot of the applicants are workers or they're contractors, for instance, work, and they're very busy, so they're out of work, you know, say 5 or 6, and then they can get here hopefully by 7, yeah.
But as I said, we're the only board beside the council that meets at 7. All of the other boards and committees, some of them meet at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, some meet at 5.
Do the other committees have applications that have to be present, like the applicants have to be present for?
No.
Sarah makes a point, as does Michael. Remember, you're a quasi judicial board. You have as much authority and power as the city council.
Okay,
So it's important to accommodate your applicants.
so the planning board doesn't have
They
people.
function under different auspices.
Okay, then good. Thank you, Mike.
Folks are judge and jury.
Okay, thank you, Michael.
Yeah.
Katrina?
I would tend to lean towards what Michael had to say about members of the public and their access. I'm retired, so I'm very flexible. And I can always fit in an afternoon nap before 7 o'clock.
Oh, stop it.
Hey, I'm 79 years old. I got some credit for that.
The perks of getting old.
Okay.
There are some.
Yeah.
Okay, just for the record, I guess I would prefer 6:30, but I certainly understand. And again, I'm retired, so it doesn't make any difference to me one way or the other. And I would rather obviously accommodate people who work and the applicants. So I just want to go on record is because I've been harping on it for so long. Okay. All right, and let's see, I think that's probably.
Yeah.
The only other thing I'd like to mention, again, if I'm not appropriate, tell me. This is an example of contractors. Is this a widespread problem? Or, I mean, do the contractors have to have some kind of, they have to have some kind of understanding of when a ordinance needs to be met or a permit needs to be applied for, or?
I would think that, well, they obviously don't, but I would think that anytime you work in a new city, especially when they said, oh, he came from New Hampshire. Anytime you work in a new city, you go to the city office before you give them any advice about anything and find out what the rules are. Like,
Yeah, that did stand out, and you can't really claim ignorance, you know.
we should probably go into deliberative session at this point
Okay.
if we're going to talk about this.
But-
About that,
Yeah.
okay, as it read,
Do we need to do a motion of,
That when we come out, you can make your motion. We'll close is we have an application for January. Down Street Housing is coming to present for site plan approval for the old Ward 5 school, turning it into 9
Apartments.
Nice.
So
Yeah, nice, yeah.
mark your calendars, January 5th, please. Thank you.
I will be sure not to schedule anything.
And I will send you out a letter as well. Note that the reason why I'm not relying solely on email is Pete, sometimes his email does not behave. And if you receive a letter, it's a little bit easier than just a quickie little email. So that's why I mailed you letters last time, and I will do so again.
You hand delivered this time.
Well,
That's,
it's in your packet of information.
Oh, yeah.
I was on vacation. last
I got it and read it. It's at home.
I
Thank you, everyone.
I
read
just
it
think
tonight.
that we only meet once a
I read it
month
tonight.
and everybody should reserve that first Thursday of the month,
It's already on my calendar.
regardless of whether you receive a notice from Janet or not. Just reserve that date if you could. That'd be great.
I normally have it free, but I don't know why I put this dinner in my calendar
Well,
this
I
tonight. And that
thought
was like,
it was next Thursday.
I
so
did
that's
too.
how far
That's why I
behind
put it
I
at-
am.
that's why I put the dinner in my calendar because I'm like, oh no, it's the Thursday. And then, yeah, anyway, doesn't matter.
Okay,
We're good.
all right. I would entertain a motion to go into deliberative session.
So-
Moved.
Second,
Okay, all those in favor? All those in favor?
Sarah seconded.
Okay, opposed? All right, the board will now go into deliberative session, and Janet, if you will remain. Thank you.
Do we need to close the door or no?
No, there's nobody out
I
there.
will pause the recording.
I thought Nicholas.
Make a motion
Hold
that
on.
What?
No.
I'll make a motion that we accept the application as is. It's a perfectly acceptable application and reason for variance.
I'll second
Is there a
that.
second?
Yep.
I'll second.
Michael?
Or Mike,
Okay.
Michael can have it.
All those in favor, raise your hand, please.
Can I ask
Aye.
a question?
Opposed?
Oh, yep, that's the
Is-
time for discussion.
Is the motion for to accept the application or to approve the application?
Well, to accept it as like that's
presented.
as
Approved.
presented, yes.
Okay,
Thing as presented.
Yes.
yes.
Request as presented.
Correct.
Would be your motion.
Yes.
Yeah, we.
Good with that, Michael?
Michael, yeah,
Yes, yes.
kind of have to expand on the motion instead of just saying, I'll make a motion to accept. As Janet has pointed out, we need to kind of expand on it.
Well, yes, if we like, because we've made all right, let's talk about that
Yeah,
after.
okay,
Let's finish
okay.
what we're doing here.
But you added to it, so it was fine. Okay, so we have a second.
Yep.
I think we had a vote, didn't we?
No.
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 Is
All-
there any folks want to add as conditions, so it's in writing?
Yes,
Okay. go ahead.
I would like to add for future constructive projects to get approval prior to the,
That doesn't matter for them, though.
No, that
No?
doesn't apply to this.
So what you folks did as an example is part of your approval for Mr. Crocker's fence was. You put in writing, you wanted in writing that his zoning permit fees would be doubled, his building permit fees would be doubled. As
I
part
thought there were
of-
two motions previously.
Were they two?
Yeah, it was two
Yeah, I think
separate.
that's why we're doing it as two bits.
Okay,
Yep.
all right.
Thank you, Michael. Yes, I think that we need to keep those things separate because when you start convoluting motions, it gets crazy. So motion is, can you read it back, please?
Any motions to approve the variance request as presented? And I didn't get who seconded.
Michael.
Michael.
seconded.
Michael,
Thank you.
Now,
any other discussion?
any more discussion? All those in favor, raise your hand, please. Opposed? Vote is unanimous that the application is approved.
okay, now we would make the motion, but you said you're already doing this as matter of, as because it's part of
The fee
the
schedule.
fee schedule. So
So
I don't
then
think we need to make a motion, but if you'd like us to, we can.
I will make a motion to include that the fees are doubled due to
Irresponsible.
the,
But we,
I think it's
but
not
we,
necessary.
it's not necessary because it's part of the. fee
They already
schedule.
do it as part of the process.
And Janet is by us, the last time we did this, gave her instruction that moving forward from that time.
but what I'm hearing is if we want it in writing,
I only asked
No,
Okay.
we don't
have
need to
she
because,
just was
because
prompting
for
us
the
to-
Jeff Cochran thing, we put it in writing that moving forward, anything like this is automatic.
Okay.
I think we did it then because we hadn't done it before and we
Correct.
weren't sure we could do it. So, and that's when it came up and Janet indicated that's already being done. So it's kind of a moot
It's
point.
unnecessary. and
Right, okay. Let's see. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor?
Hi.
Thank you. Opposed? All right, the meeting is adjourned and make sure you schedule
January
Thursday,
5th.
January 5th.
Happy New Year, happy Hanukkah, whatever.
Yeah.
See you in the new year, everyone.
Good night.
Merry Christmas.
See you next year.
Very well.
All right.
That's why I have you here.
I know.